Hello everyone. After finishing the Sherlock Holmes series about mysteries which he have already solved, I just decided to start a new English book series named The Diary of the Wimpy Kid, written by KINNEY. And today we will begin with the first episode, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. This one was a storytelling about a student named Jeffrey who have just entered the secondary school, and today is his first day at the new school. First, let's get a sight in his story, in his family and his friends. He has an older brother called Roderick, who is quite keen on playing as a band, but usually make jokes in his younger brother named Jeffrey. He also had a younger brother named Manny, who are usually given a lot of toys by his parents, and he usually done a lot of things without getting into trouble. At school, Jeffrey just met his best friend Rolly, but they are not able to sit next to each other, and Jeffrey was told to sit next to a moron called Fragley. After that, to make them more popular to other people, Rolly and Jeffrey just decided to take part in a wrestling event. However, they just have to quit it after Jeffrey have been beaten by Fragley, is the one who's sitting right next to him. Rolly and Jeffrey then take part in an event called Roll Patrol. Is when they have to walk all the primary school students home. However, one day, while Jeffrey was wearing the Rolly's jacket, he just decided to scare that kid once. But the neighbor just saw all of that things. But they first thought that Rolly is the one who have done all of that. So they just informed to the principals and the teachers. The teachers soon gave all the information to Rolly's parents, and they asked him to quit that event. Just after a few days, Rolly and Jeffrey just make a new games. Is when Rolly had to ride a bike, and Jeffrey had to try anyways to stop him. However, things ended up in an accident. Is when Rolly finally fell down and broke his arm. In the next day, the girls always comes to help Rolly, carry his book, his backpack, and Jeffrey becomes really jealous with him. They are no longer be friends since Rolly thought that it was all Jeffrey's fault. And so Jeffrey just decided to make friends with Fragley in order to make Rolly jealous. However, those characters are not fitting with each other, so Jeffrey just bother Fragley. It was when they decided to take up some more events. But one day, Rolly and Jeffrey have been beaten by some bullies at school. They then told them to the principals and their parents. So all of that teens got punished, and Rolly and Jeffrey just became friends once more time. That's the end of the story. I must say, this one was really common. I mean, any plots in this story can be met at any schools in any place in the world. So we can easily understand all of the things mentioned in these schools. Also, I think the way some consequence from some results from these stories, when Rollies and Jeffrey just decided to no longer be friends anymore, and then they just get on well with each other once more time. It's just really common, and me, for example, is the one who are still students, really like this plot since it is really popular, and just kind of Jeffrey mentioned in this story is probably like an example of the students in the modern world, I must say. So that's why I highly recommend any of you guys to read this series in general, and also this first episode, since like it contains not too much high bands English words, which is kind of really easy to read and understand. But also it's like give me a lot of hours and minutes to relax, and that's why I think like you guys should at least read this book series once.